friends, welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading we are going to be looking at what you need to hear right now. So this can be from the universe, God, your spirit guides, spirit in general, whatever it is that you believe in. They are going to be coming through for you today to give you the message that you most need to hear. So we have 4 piles today. We have pile 1 with this pink butterfly in the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. We have pile 2 with this yellow butterfly in the Embroidered Forest Tarot. We have pile 3 with the green butterfly in the Santa Muerte Tarot, and pile 4 with the purple butterfly in the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. So you can go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one, especially in a reading like this where we're allowing any types of messages to come through. But with that being said, it is very, very important that you take what resonates and leave the rest. So if I'm telling you what you need to hear and you're like, I don't need to hear this, I already know this, then the message isn't for you. And you can either pick a different pile and see if there might be a message for you elsewhere, or just go about your day and have a wonderful time. No matter what, I'm just grateful that you are here. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to, like I said, to find which pile you feel most drawn to. And then once you picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all of the timestamps listed below. Now, one thing I do want to say really quickly, please be careful for scammers in the comments. They've been kind of, they haven't been at their worst recently, but I feel like it's when they calm down that they come back in full force. So just be alert that if you see a profile that looks like me trying to solicit you personal readings in the comments, that is not me. I don't have WhatsApp, and I am not offering personal readings at this time. So please be careful, please be safe, and if you're really unsure, you can click on the profile of the person who's supposedly me that's messaging you. If you go to their profile, there won't be any videos. It'll be pretty obvious when it's not them. So just do a little bit of research when stuff like that comes up. But I am done rambling now. I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the pink and orange butterfly and the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, this is going to be a reading on what you need to hear. So I'm going to shuffle the tarot on camera. Your oracles are already shuffled, and then once we see what you need to hear, we'll get into advice, and then today we are going to finish off with some letters and numbers and songs. So got a lot going on today. I hope you all have been doing wonderfully. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every single one of you so much. And yeah, I'm excited to see what it is you guys need to hear. So let's just start. Spirit, what does pile 1 need to hear this time? What does pile 1 need to hear? Okay. So we have the Page of Cups. We have Strength. We have the Ace of Swords. What else does pile 1 need to hear? Okay, we have the 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. And let's get one more in the back of the deck. Energy, please. Okay. So, finally, we have the 9 of Wands, and on the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Cups. Okay, very interesting. Then let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have Be Free, Do What You Love, and we have Body as a House. You Got the Love, Hadrian or Hadarian. I'm definitely not saying that right. I'm just going to say Hadrian, even though I think that's wrong. Hadrian Energy, Codependency, Boundaries. Acceptance, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Connect to Heart. And finally, the Land in Between. Okay. So I'm just gonna say right now, if you're in like a long-term commitment with somebody, this is probably not your pile. It could be, but there is a lot about relationships here in terms of your relationships to yourself and your relationships to others. So I definitely feel like this message is going to resonate most for people who are either single or in some type of situationship, or maybe somebody who is in an unhappy relationship at this time. But we're just going to go ahead and start, because what I'm definitely seeing here is that if you picked pile one, this message is definitely for you. If you've been going through either a lot of heartbreak or a lot of confusion in terms of where your love life is really meant to be, who you're meant to be with. It seems like there's a lot of confusion. And for some of you, you might have recently gotten out of like a bad relationship or a situationship where maybe the other person wasn't really treating you the way you deserved or wasn't giving you the attention and the love that you deserved. And for a lot of you, I feel like you've been in this kind of healing process where you know that your relationship towards love needs to change, but you're not really sure where to start. And one of the things I really want to commend you on, pile one, is the fact that you are so kind and so genuine. And I feel like for a lot of you, I don't want to say you're losing that ability, but you're finding it hard to cherish those attributes about you because you find yourself in these situations where people take you for granted, they don't give you what you deserve, and you're kind of just wondering what's wrong with you. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, pile one, there's nothing wrong with you, like at all. In fact, the only thing that's wrong with you is that you're maybe too loving and too giving, and that's not a problem. It's more so just about the people that you're actually giving it to. There's definitely a lot of like Pisces energy here. Doesn't have to be. In terms of actual signs, the biggest one I'm seeing is Leo with strength, but other than that, signs could really go anywhere. But I do think that for a lot of people in this pile, there is a tendency to romanticize people and relationships before they've either gotten off the ground or before that other person has kind of shown you who they are. One thing that I want to assure you, pile one, is that your guides, the universe, they're very proud of you and how you've been able to maintain your integrity despite the types of people you've encountered in this quest for love or for acceptance or for understanding. In fact, it really does seem like you've gotten to a point where you're ready for love or you're ready for an open and authentic commitment, and Spirit is saying that you deserve that. This is especially why I don't think this message is going to be for people in like long-term relationships, especially if they are happy in said relationships, because what I'm seeing here is this energy of like, why do I keep failing? Why do I keep giving the wrong people the time of day, giving the wrong people my heart? And I think the problem, it really doesn't have anything to do with you, in the sense that like, it's not like you're attracting these types of people. I do think there are types of people that you are drawn to, and those might be people that are maybe more I don't want to say like problematic. I just want to say like maybe have more wounds. And because you have a very big heart, you want to help those people. But I think one important thing to remember is that in a relationship, it is not your job to fix or help people. In fact, the only person that you are responsible for is you. And I think one thing that Spirit is indicating to me right away is that your body is an extension of yourself and your soul. And if you feel like your body, in terms of like how you style yourself, how you dress yourself, doesn't correlate to how you feel inside, that might be something that you want to change. If there's a style that you've been wanting to try out, or if you've been wanting to do something different with how you do your hair or your makeup, if you do anything to fix it, or I feel like Spirit is calling you to help show others who you are on the inside by accurately reflecting that on the outside. And that can be a really difficult thing to do, so don't be like too pressured about that. But if there's just anything, like even just anything small, like accessories or something like that, that you feel like would help you feel more like yourself, take the opportunity to splurge and treat yourself. I think there's definitely been a lot of people who have tested your patience and tested your ability to stay in this loving energy. And I think because of your past failures in love, you're probably wondering, you know, how can I ever be open and authentic and vulnerable with somebody when I feel like I've just been shat on like 10 million times? And I think that this is a totally understandable way to feel, and I think it's incredibly admirable that you haven't shut your heart off yet. But one of the biggest things that I'm seeing here is that in order for you to find that beautiful love of yours that you truly deserve, you're going to have to reassess how you approach love and what you think you deserve. And also your ability to let go of situations in the past, even when you feel like you didn't get the justice you deserved, or you haven't gotten an apology that you were looking for, or something like that. Actually, one thing that I'm seeing too is if you have a dog, or have any way to be close to dogs, hopefully you're not, if you're like allergic to dogs, then I guess any other animal that you feel really close to, that could help you get in the energy of love that Spirit wants you to understand. With this Connect to the Heart card, and the dogs on here, dogs are just a symbol of pure unconditional love, and man, they really just are the best. And now, speaking of dogs, I want to show off my dog because she just got a place on my tarot table. But like, this was my dog Bella. She's not here anymore, but she was just the best, and she was a great example of unconditional love. And you know, I think I just want to show off a cute dog, but you know, if you have any dogs, first of all, talk about them in the comments, because I love hearing about dogs. I love animals in general, but like, dogs are awesome. I love hearing about them. Oh my god, okay, set that up to just knock it over. But the energy of the dog is kind of the energy you want to be in. You know, it's very happy, it's very fun, it's full of love, unconditional love and loyalty. And I think that you have a lot of those qualities innately within you. But I think that where you get tripped up is who you're actually giving that love and that loyalty to. You know, are those people giving you that energy in return? And I feel like you're in this process where you're over it. Like, you know that you're not giving your energy to the right people, and you're probably rolling your eyes when I'm saying, like, you know, who are you giving it to? Because you know that the people that you're giving it to at this point are not giving you what you deserve in return. And so in this process, you're kind of in this in-between process right now, where you are trying to redefine who you are in the world, and also who you are in love and as a partner, and like what kind of love you actually want. And I think one thing that's holding you back is your tendency to tell yourself that you're not going to accept things, but then once the time comes to actually be tested about that, then it kind of all goes by the wayside. Maybe because you're worried that, like, if you assert your boundaries, you're not being nice or something like that. And I do just want to say right off the bat, if that's what you are worried about, fuck that. You know, it doesn't matter. If somebody has a problem with you asserting your boundaries, it says a lot more about them than it does you. And you should never feel guilty for asserting boundaries. I do feel like there's this tendency with this Page of Cups energy for people to come in very sweetly in the beginning, and it's easy for you to either fall for them or be open to them, because they know how to... they just know how to say the right things. And I don't even mean that in like a manipulative way. I just mean that in a way where it seems like the people that you connect to know how to connect to you. And I think it's probably just like what I'm hearing from Spirit is it's more just like a karmic thing. Like it's just the type of person that you attract. And Spirit kind of does this, not on purpose, because I don't think anything is like... Anyway, you just kind of attract these people because it's helping you see where maybe you're holding yourself back in love, because Spirit is saying that you're absolutely strong enough to assert your boundaries. I think there's just a fear maybe on your end that if you do assert those boundaries, that people will be upset with you, or they'll leave you. And so one thing that Spirit is saying is, if asserting your boundaries is going to do that, then don't let the door hit them on the way out, because that's just not right. And you don't deserve to be treated that way. And with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands here, I do feel like there's clarity coming when it comes to your relationships. But I honestly think one thing that would be beneficial for you is to just sit down and like write what you want in a partner, write what you don't want in a partner, right? What makes you feel loved, what makes you feel respected, what are your love languages, what do you think you deserve? Because there is that saying, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I think for you, you just don't have a realization that you deserve such a beautiful love. And one thing that I'm seeing here that could actually really help you in terms of bringing more love in is to focus on a lot of inner child healing. I know that phrase is kind of difficult, and like people are like, how do I heal my inner child? And it's hard because it's different for everybody. But the advice that I would give you is to focus on the things that made you as a child very happy. And also the things as a child that made you feel hurt or scared. Those are probably wounds that need to be healed. Whereas things that you enjoyed are things that speak to your soul. And, doing those certain things will kind of help you connect to that childlike aspect of yourself and get you more into that childlike energy of fun. We're born to this world absolutely perfect, and we spend our entire lives essentially being conditioned to believe that we're not enough, or that we're not perfect, or that we can be better. You came here perfect, and you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. And my washer is agreeing with me. But even with this Two of Cups here, they're not balanced. And so Spirit's saying the right love for you is going to be balanced, and not to give up, because it will come. But I think for you, it's going to be a matter of not searching for it, but instead allowing it to come to you. And with this be free, do what you love, that kind of goes back to that inner child healing, because I think that there's a lot of fear with opening yourself up to new energies, to new people, to new experiences. And you actually might be falling for the same type of person, because that same type of person just happens to be in your comfort zone, if that makes sense. And there might need to be some acceptance or release of feelings of guilt or shame about not seeing signs sooner of somebody not being right for you. The only way for you to know that is to explore it. And I think one thing that could help you in the future is, instead of projecting what you hope somebody will be, allow them to show you who they are instead. And honestly, there might be a need to get into some more masculine energy, no matter what you identify as when it comes to love, just so that you feel more safe to kind of assert yourself and assert your boundaries, especially if you're the type of person who is afraid of doing that. With You've Got the Love, this energy is all about unconditional, pure love. But sometimes we have to have that love for ourselves. And if you don't have that love for yourself, it's hard to remember you're that bitch when you're in the thick of it with somebody. You know what I mean? Probably not. So what I actually mean by that is if you're constantly giving to yourself, if you're constantly loving yourself, which that's kind of a difficult thing to say, because self-love is more about it's not about looking in the mirror and being like, yes, you are an icon, you are a queen, you are just the bee's knees, and you're amazing, I love you, because that's just not really very effective. Self-love is more about checking in with yourself, your body and your spirit. And that's why body as a house is important. And asking yourself, what do you need? And checking in throughout the day. So if you're like, what do I need? And you're just feeling through your body, and you're like, I'm kind of hungry, I think I need breakfast. And then you're like, okay, what do I need? And you realize, oh, I haven't read in a long time. I'm feeling like I need a little break, or I want to read a story that's special to me. Go and do that. There's things that you need on a spiritual level and things that you need on a physical level, and self-love can kind of help you assess those needs. Because one thing about codependency is that we kind of project our needs onto another person, hoping that they will be able to fix us and fix our problems, which is why it's easy for us to think that we can fix people's problems and we can help them. But if you think about how hard it is to change yourself, like it's a hell of a lot harder to try and change somebody else. You know what I mean? And it's not your job to change somebody else. And I think that's one thing that you have to remember. Taking care of you is a job in of itself, and that's your primary job. Obviously, unless like you're an actual parent and have to take care of, you know, other things. But still, your own self-care should be important at that point. But Spirit is really proud of the progress that you've been making, and that you're actually going to have a lot of clarity about like your love life and your love situations very soon. In fact, the right person for you might be coming sooner rather than later. The more you embrace and accept these truths and kind of embody them, because there's a difference between knowing and being. And I think for you, you need to have trust that the universe will bring you the right person for you, and that like, sorry, I just got distracted by a bug on my wall. Anyway, you need to know what you need to be able to trust that the universe will bring you who is right for you. And now you might say, well, the universe hasn't brought me who's right yet, but I want to argue that you probably thought they were right for you at one point, and it only took you going through lessons with them or going through highs and lows with them to realize that they're not. I think Spirit just wants you to recognize when it's okay to go all in and when it isn't. Like, you might go all in too early just because you're idealizing things, or like I said, you could have that Pisces energy. No shame. I'm a Pisces Venus. Like, I get it. and yeah, no, Pisces energy is not easy. And you shouldn't feel shame for that. It's a really beautiful thing to want to give yourself to someone and want to shower somebody else with love. But like, the truth is that some people are just very uncomfortable with that type of love, and you might find that as you go on, like, there are just certain people who you won't be compatible with, or who don't understand how you give love. And I think that Spirit is kind of saying that you deserve to not have to show who you are to somebody. But I think that you might be trying to figure out who you are through your relationships, and that's partially why you keep falling in the wrong ones. Once you truly know yourself and trust that the universe will bring you somebody that you deserve, anybody that comes your way, you'll be able to look at them objectively and be like, okay, is this somebody that I see myself with? I don't know, so let me explore this. Okay, let's see, they have the same values as me, they have the same interests as me, but, you know, they do have some things that are kind of red flags, or like, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. You know, you might see somebody and they tick off all your boxes, and then, you know, you go to their house and they have such a big Beanie Baby collection that you can't even like walk through the hallways or something. You know, they might be great on paper, but do you want to live in that Beanie Baby house? I mean, maybe they might be perfect for you. No judgment there. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. But, you know, maybe Beanie Babies aren't your thing. And maybe, and so instead of being heartbroken because they're not right for you, if you were staying objective, you'd be like, okay, well, they're a great person, but, you know, they just got too many damn Beanie Babies for me. So you know, thank you, universe, for sending them my way. I know that they're not the right person for me. Because it's also important to remember that there's no such thing as a failed relationship. You learn something in every single relationship, and you should never feel ashamed for loving someone or giving your heart. You know, life is short, and we deserve to love, and we also deserve to do what we love. And so that's kind of why Spirit is bringing this up, because I think that by getting in touch with your inner child and what it is that you actually love, it'll help you kind of see the energy that should surround you in your most special romantic connections. There should be that fun, there should be that joy, there should be that inherent, like, it doesn't have to be childlike, but there should be this inherent understanding at some point after you get to know them, where you don't feel like you're constantly explaining yourself, where you feel like the energy is balanced and equal and you can have fun with this person and you feel like they accept you. And I think part of it for you is there does need to be acceptance of the past, where, you know, maybe people didn't treat you right and that's been really difficult for you to get over. But, you know, that's where that self-love comes in, because if you know yourself and you know your truth and you know that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of special things, and acknowledge that you're a special person, then you can look at those situations objectively and be like, you know what, I gave them my heart, they stepped on it, they took a dump on it, they set it on fire, they threw it in front of a train, or you know what, they just didn't accept it. And that's okay, because no one is required to accept my heart. And at the end of the day, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. They just weren't ready for this, or this wasn't what was in alignment for them, and that's okay. You know, I can definitely tell you're getting burnt out when it comes to love. And so I think that just channeling that love instead inside yourself is going to show you that a lot of the people that maybe you clung to because you were afraid of being alone could never satisfy you the way that you could satisfy yourself alone anyway. I didn't mean for that to have like a, like that's what she said connotation, but that's kind of true as well. I'm gonna stick by that. But Spirit's saying that you're getting there and that you should actually be really proud of your progress. And in fact, you know, the more time you spend with yourself just doing what makes you happy, the more you're going to already be in that energy of love. It's the energy of lack that kind of gets us in that codependent energy. Which, I mean, I guess codependency is much more complicated than just now my psychological stuff is kicking in, but psychology aside, you know, like feeling like you need somebody else to be complete is always going to be out of alignment, and feeling like somebody else is going to make you happy is always going to be out of alignment for you, for anyone really, because it really doesn't matter who we are or what we do. If we can't find satisfaction within ourselves in the moment, we're always going to be projecting this happiness into the future and think that it's going to come by a person or a job or a thing. And so Spirit is asking you to really connect with your heart and spend time with yourself and realize how lovable you are. You should never be embarrassed or ashamed for being a loving, kind person. It's understandable that you might have walls up, but it's important to remember that, you know, there's like 8 billion people in the world, you know? Just because the people in your past haven't given you what you deserve doesn't mean that there's nobody out there for you, you know? There's always a fresh opportunity. There's always, you know, a new day, and Spirit is already saying that you're on the right track, and the foundation for you is just going to be trusting yourself when it comes to love. You're so much stronger than you think you are, and actually you've learned so much and you've already come a long way. You know, I think for you, finding your Two of Cups person is going to be a matter of finding somebody where, or not finding somebody, I guess I'm going to take that back. I was kind of just thinking about how that Ace of Swords and that Ace of Wands might be like a combination of this Two of Cups. So, you know, maybe you're a fire sign and needs an air sign, or maybe you're an air sign that needs a fire sign. I don't know. I don't really think that's the case, but kind of just what I'm seeing here is that the Spirit wants you to be a little bit more objective about your love relationships or your romantic connections until you feel like the energy is equal and you're kind of safe. You know, if you feel any anxiety about it, that might just be like anxiety, but then at the same time, you know, if this person can't affirm how you feel or be direct and honest with you, you know, those are kind of things that would show that maybe this person isn't mature enough for a connection yet. But I think for you, it's just a process of releasing the past and acknowledging that you were doing the best you could at that time. And, you know, that's not your fault. That doesn't make you stupid. That doesn't make you unworthy of love. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, if anything, it kind of shows what's wrong with those other people if they can't accept that love. But that just goes to show that they don't accept that love for themselves. And that doesn't make them bad or wrong. It just goes to show that they're at a different point in their healing journey. And if you've got so much love to give, why try to give it to somebody who isn't able to receive it and appreciate it for what it is? You deserve someone that's going to love your big heart just as much as you want to, you know, give it to somebody. And Spirit's giving me the quote, we already talked about we accept the love we think we deserve. What's the other one you're trying to give me? Sorry, I'm like, okay, wait, what? Okay, so you deserve the love that you so freely give to other people. That was the other quote they wanted me to talk about. So remember, you deserve the love that you so freely give to others. And ask yourself, you know, what would you do for somebody else that was in your situation? Then do that for yourself, essentially. It's kind of like pulling a you on you by doing you, thinking it's for someone else, but really it's you. I know it's hard to like extend that love to yourself, but the more you do it, the more you'll realize how, one, awesome you are, and two, how much you just deserve to live in that energy for yourself. So we're going to get into your advice now. We're going to start with the Oracle of the Fairies and see what advice the Fairies has for you, and then we'll use the Moonology Oracle to see what advice they have, what things might shift, things that are changing, and then we'll do songs and letters and numbers. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1 when it comes to their love life and just things in general, please? Okay. Aw, this is so true. Okay, I already love this. Purity. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it you will find the answer to your question. Yeah, you definitely have a pure soul, and that's why it's so hard. Like, you have this pure dog energy that's just so precious, and not everyone can truly appreciate that type of energy, you know? And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means that you're a dog and some people aren't dog people. And, you know, it's not your fault that they have bad taste. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with that. But on a grander scale, I'm not kidding when it comes to, like, realistically, if somebody is not willing to accept your loving and pure heart, then they don't deserve it anyway. We also have hidden depths. Something hidden is about to come to light, perhaps a secret or memory in the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we become free. And then we also have healing. Now is a time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. And I think it's time for you to kind of explore your hidden depths and heal those things that maybe you've been burying. But what's so beautiful is that on the back of the deck, we have hope. And so the fairies are really saying hope is always there, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations help change a negative situation into a positive one. And yeah, Spirit wants you to have hope, because like with this dove here, I feel like there's a lot of peace coming your way. I feel like there's a lot of love coming your way. And the sooner you accept it and just kind of accept what Spirit's trying to tell you, and those relationships and the things that you need to learn about relationships, you're going to be a lot happier. And I think that your right person is going to come in a lot quicker than you may think. But Spirit, what is shifting for pile 1? What advice do you have? So we have work through your fears. And yeah, I definitely think for some of you, it's like you've given your heart so much, now you're just afraid to even open it up to somebody again. And so I do think that for y'all, it's going to be a lot about like rediscovering that loving part of yourself and recognizing that there's nothing wrong with it, that it's actually super beautiful, and you deserve to share this love with somebody. But we also have step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So maybe you could meet the right person by like doing an activity that your inner child loves. Like maybe you'll take a painting class, or maybe you'll learn how to write. Honestly, there's so many possibilities. But we also have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. So yeah, I truly believe that this is going to work out soon. You're very close to achieving your goal. And on the back of the deck, we have a time for healing, balsamic moon. So yeah, this is Spirit. What Spirit is essentially saying is that if you want to find love, show yourself the love that you need to heal. Not completely, but just to heal these parts of you that make you afraid of being vulnerable and being open. Because once you do that, you'll be so much more comfortable to like extend your heart to people, because you'll know how to protect yourself and your heart. So if things don't work out, it's not a reflection of you, your heart, your worth, or your character. It's just a reflection that like either this just wasn't the right person, the right time, or whatever. So let's get some letters and numbers and some songs now. Pile 1, Spirit. Okay. And then let's get you some songs. So in terms of songs, this can be, you know, the song, I mean, like the title could be relevant, the artist could be relevant, the lyrics could have messages. Just take these as they resonate. I've just got a lot of different songs in here, so some of them might be for you, some of them might not. Okay. So to start with letters, we have 2 U's and a Q. We have an 8, we have a B. I'm hearing Boston. I'm also hearing like Boston University or like Boston College. We have a W or an M. So I'm seeing like me and Maine, like the state Maine. I'm also seeing like with this right here, like there's nowhere to go but up. This I don't know why, this just made me think of like SpongeBob, like Doodle Bob going like me hoy me noy. Me hoy me noy. Okay. We also have a 2 and a 4 and an 8. Kind of one thing that I'm seeing here is that Spirit kind of wants you to know that like this love can kind of come in either faster or slower depending on how much you work to like heal. But I don't want to say that in a sense of like, you know, if you don't heal, you're not going to find love or anything like that, but use it as motivation to be like, okay, well, the more I heal, the faster this will come to me. But also don't be like hard on yourself if you don't feel like healing one day, or, you know, healing is a continuous process and it never ends. So, you know, if you need to take a break and just be like, I hate the world, I'm angry today, and I'm sad, that's fine. And that's perfectly valid. And don't feel bad about yourself when you have those days, because we all have those days, and it's important to just slow down when those things happen. But let's go ahead and look at your songs now. We have Body Say by Demi Lovato. Interesting. We also have Starving by Haley Steinfeld. If we can get that out there. Yep. Okay. Let's see. We also have Fight the Feeling by Mac Miller featuring Kendrick Lamar. We also have, oh yes, we also have Dear Maria, Count Me In by All Time Low. And finally, we have Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Love that little 80s zest at the end. Definitely Tainted Love makes a lot of sense here. Same with Starving and Fight the Feeling. Yeah, these definitely make sense. So if you're interested in those songs, you can definitely go check them out. But I'm going to leave this reading here, pile 1. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left it a like. And if you haven't already and would like to, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Thank you all so much for letting me read your cards. I really hope that this helped. I'm so grateful that you're here. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose this yellow butterfly and the Embroidered Forest Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what you need to hear. So I'm going to shuffle your tarot on camera, and then we'll look at your oracles, which I pre-shuffled. We'll see what you need to hear, and then we're going to pull some advice cards, and then finally we'll finish off with initials and songs. So I know some of you are wanting those back, so we will be doing those today. Thank you all for being here. I am so blessed and so grateful to read for beautiful souls like you. So I'm really excited to see what is going to come out here. So let's just go ahead and start and see. Spirit, what does pile 2 need to hear? Okay. Well, I'm going to take this upright because Spirit actually said before I started not to do reversals for this pile. So we have the Empress. We have the Queen of Swords. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. We have the Page of Swords. what else? Spirit, what does pile? We have the Knight of Swords. Okay, hello air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, we have Temperance. The Knight of Wands. And on the back of the deck, Judgment. Interesting. Okay. So let's look at your oracles now. Let me just scooch these over. We also have Sagittarius here, especially with Temperance, and the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag, which is a fire sign. Okay. So moving forward, we also have Calm Within Transformation. We have the Void, Stop, Embrace Winter, Great Cosmic Womb. We have Fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. We have Nature. A Tall Tale. And finally, Green. Okay. So this is really interesting, pile 2. For a lot of you, one scenario I'm seeing here is that there might be only one aspect of yourself that you truly value, and I think that might be your intellect. From what I'm seeing here, you could either be a smooth talker, and I know for some of you, you're like, oh, I'm not a smooth talker at all, but for some of you, you definitely are. For others, I feel like you might be very afraid to express yourself in ways that aren't normal. I get like heavy Virgo energy here, like very overly analytical and very I'm just hearing like thought holes. I don't know why. I just thought of thought holes and then like plot holes. I don't know. Anyway, with this Empress card here, it makes a lot of sense being with this Calm Within Transformation, because you are in a process of kind of shedding your old skin right now. I think you're realizing how much more there is to you than you may have thought before. And I don't think that's because you didn't realize that these parts of you were there. It's just that I think that there are parts of yourself that it's taken you a long time to acknowledge and accept. Not that they're like bad things, but they're just different from the mask that you've given yourself to wear when you're in the outside world, when you're around other people. I definitely feel like you're a team player. You're somebody who's not afraid to, work hard, do what's asked of them. You're not the type of person to hide away from like challenges, is what I'm hearing. But what's interesting is that you are hiding away from yourself. I feel like there's a tendency within this pile to diminish who you are or dampen your own light because you're afraid of how it might make other people feel. And with this A Tall Tale here, I think there's a fear of acknowledging your truest self. Maybe that's because the people around you won't accept it, or it could just be that the amount of effort, or not effort, but the amount of work and change and steps there might need to be in order for you to become who you feel like you should be, like that might be overwhelming to you. But Spirit says it doesn't matter if you want this transformation or not, it's coming. And in fact, one thing that Spirit is telling me is that with this Temperance card, there's a need to embrace your mask with your truest self. And we kind of see that with Judgment here as well. I think you've either recently had a realization that you need to change how you go about life or how you present yourself, or a change in or a discovery about yourself that's made you realize that you can't continue to be somebody that you're not. And with this, a tall tale, I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at the stories you tell yourself. Because one quote I'm hearing is, whether you can or you can't, you're probably right. And I think there are things about like what you're capable of achieving and the abilities that you have and what you could do to grow your abilities. And in terms of abilities, Spirit's not giving me specifics, so it's going to be different for all of you. You really have an opportunity to shine. And one thing that they're saying is that you need to get outside. Like, you really do need to get outside and get back in nature, because I think one thing that stops you from actualizing your full potential or seeing yourself for who you truly are is the fact that you might be ungrounded at times. With this Empress card here, you know, the Empress is all of the queens combined, not just one, not the Queen of Swords. And this doesn't mean that you have to be a woman or identify that way, but Spirit is saying that your transformation has kind of been a natural process. And at this point, I think that you might be in a place of fear because you're not sure what the next step is, and you're not sure if you can do it or if you're capable of it. And one thing I want to say is that you are capable of this transformation. So like it's happening whether you like it or not, so you might as well kind of believe in yourself is one thing that I'm hearing. But if you need to take time to rest, to just take a time out from life, Spirit is also asking you to do that. With this, the Void, stop, embrace winter, and calm within transformation, there needs to be an acknowledgement that you are changing, but it's not going to happen overnight, and you're getting there slowly but surely. And I think Spirit is showing this by how much you've grown in terms of your logical thought and your ability to think critically and communicate with others and connect with others, because I feel like you've really upgraded. You've gone from a page to a knight to a queen. And you're starting to see yourself as somebody much more worthy of love and good things. But I think you're afraid of fully committing to these new ideas that you're wanting to go after. And with this Judgment card, I feel like there's a realization that there's no going back to what you were. And so you might as well keep following your passion or following what makes you happy. With this Knight of Wands here, Spirit is saying, like, you can channel all of your energy into this transformation, or you can like channel this energy, like, I guess Spirit wants you to channel this into more channel all of this energy into things that are productive, not things that are going to tear you down. I do feel like you possess a lot of mental energy, and so part of the problem for you is that you might be stuck in old habits or old thought patterns that don't really serve you, but you don't know how to get rid of yet, because either, you know, you haven't had the realizations yet, or, you know, one thing that I told Pile 1 is there's a difference between knowing and being. So you might know what you need to do to change, but you might not be acting on it, which is where that Knight of Wands comes in, where Spirit maybe wants you to take time to kind of reorganize yourself, reorganize your life, or sit with yourself and ask yourself what it is that you truly want and who do you see yourself being. Spirit says this transformation has already started and it's going to continue over time. Especially with this Temperance card, it's like you're going to have to be patient with this process, because it's not something that can happen overnight. You know, with nature, I just think, you know, this is natural. This is natural for you. And one thing that I want to tell you is that you've grown a lot already, and Spirit is already so proud of your progress and everything that you've been able to achieve. And this green card just says that nobody will be able to hold you back. And in fact, it doesn't matter if you want to hold on to your mask or the walls that you have up, because your natural true self is still going to grow beyond those things. You know, one thing that I think is really interesting is like when you look at abandoned buildings, you see how nature kind of reclaims those buildings. And, you know, while you might be able to knock nature down, it's still going to regenerate and it's going to grow back. And I think for you guys, it's important to remember that even if you do get knocked down during this transformation, you're going to grow back better and stronger. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be overwhelmed by this transformation, and Spirit's telling you, you know, it's okay to nurture yourself, to mother yourself, to take care of yourself when you feel this way, because this is a big process for you. But there needs to be an acknowledgement that you're telling yourself things that are holding you back from moving further. You know, with this Two of Wands here, I feel like you're in this exploratory stage where you're still trying to figure out who you are. But at this point, you have enough knowledge to know that there are aspects of you that you put forward that are not accurate to your true being. And I think that Spirit wants you to ask yourself, are these aspects that you're holding on to, do they actually serve you? Are they like protective? Are you afraid of showing people your true self? It's kind of like Spirit's asking you to analyze the narratives that you tell yourself, and also analyze how you speak to yourself, especially in your brain. What does your internal dialogue sound like? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it encouraging? Is it discouraging? You know, just I think Spirit wants you to kind of, one, go outside, and two, kind of just get closer to nature. Because, okay, this is a weird thing that Spirit wants me to say, but I'm gonna say it. Go find a tree that you really like and tell that tree who you are. Not your mask, not who you want to be, who you are, who you feel you are in the deepest parts of your soul. And guess what that tree is going to say? Nothing, because it's a tree. But a tree's not going to judge you because it's also a tree. So if you tell this tree, hey, Mr. Tree, I am XYZ and I'm proud of myself and I love myself, that tree's, I'd like to think that that tree in its own tree way will be like, yeah, that's awesome. Love that for you, pile 2. But like, I think that there's just a need to be away from like all of your distractions. I don't know why talking to a tree has to be the thing, but I guess it doesn't have to be, but it's kind of more like Spirit is saying that your surroundings, the people around you, might distract you from who you truly are, because you are in this transformation phase, and these people or these things are a part of your past self. That doesn't mean that those people need to leave your life or anything like that. It just means that if you are looking for other people to affirm who you are, you might not feel affirmed in the way you want to be because they already have their own preconceived notions and ideas about you. But I think one thing that Spirit is saying is that they're trying to communicate with you more, and that there might be a lot of signs, especially within nature, that could help you follow the direction that Spirit wants you to be in, or follow the direction that your soul... Well, here's the thing. Spirit wants you to follow the direction that resonates most with your soul. That's what's really important to them. And so by knowing what you want to do with your soul, where your soul wants to go, what it is you want to experience, in turn, you will get that support from Spirit, essentially, where they'll be like, hey, you know, you're doing what we want because you're following your soul's purpose. And I don't know why, you might want to look into bloodstone. This is a bloodstone snake of mine that I have, and I think it's kind of interesting because bloodstone is very grounding, and I definitely think there's a lot of grounding that needs to happen here because you are so in your head, and there's a lot of like I feel like I almost need to hold on to this to just kind of bring myself back down, because you are like, there's so many things you want to do and so many things you want to follow, and so many ways you want to express yourself that you're not, because your head is holding you back. And so Spirit is really saying, you know, when it gets overwhelming, take time to rest, take time to embrace yourself and embrace this transformation. But when you have the energy, tell your head to shut the hell up, go outside, get grounded, figure out what it is that you want to do, and get going, you know? If you truly love yourself, what other people think of you will never matter. And you'll recognize that if anyone else has a problem, it's more of a reflection within them than it is you. And, you know, like a snake, you're going to shed your skin over and over. And it's kind of gross, but like, you are. And that's kind of why these snakes are here, is because you're shedding these old parts of yourself. And that's a time-consuming process. It doesn't just happen overnight. Like, I'm pretty sure it takes a snake like a week or something to shed its skin. And I feel like that's relatively fast. So I could be totally wrong about that. I know nothing about snakes, so don't hold me to that. But this process could take like a year. This process could take like 2 years. It's more so about taking it a day at a time and just recognizing that in each day you're growing. In each day you're becoming more of who you are. You're becoming that person that you deserve to be. You know, it doesn't matter what you have on the outside, because on the inside you're growing, you're flourishing. Amethyst is a stone you might want to look into as well, because I do think that there's a combination of both needing to be open to higher guidance and also being grounded. There's a lot of mental energy is like what I'm feeling, and I think that mental energy is stopping you from experiencing life and from experiencing joy. And yeah, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody like a counselor or somebody that could really help you with like cognitive behavioral therapy, could be, I'm not saying you need therapy, I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying like if you're thinking about you know, going to talk to someone, cognitive behavioral therapy might be a good option, something that you want to like look into, because it's all about changing your thought patterns and how you approach things and approach situations. So like if your natural inclination, like let's say somebody, you say hi to somebody and they don't acknowledge you, they ignore you. And so maybe your brain's natural instinctive reaction is to be like, well, they must hate you. They probably think you're a loser, and they probably think you smell like eggs and you suck. And then that cognitive behavioral therapy would step in and you'd be like, okay, do I smell like eggs? No, I know I don't smell like eggs. So that's not true. They probably hate me. Well, they don't really know me. So let's just say theoretically, this is just somebody that you don't really know. Well, I don't really know them, so I know that if they hate me, that's clearly something on them, and that doesn't matter. Or, you know, you could say, is there any logical reasons as to why they might ignore me? Oh, maybe they didn't hear me. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they had headphones in. You know, there's so many different, like, ways to perceive things, and our perception is reality. And so I think Spirit is asking you to take a step back and look at things from a grander scale and recognize that your head is keeping you in the moment and stopping you from experiencing life the way you want to, and is slowing this transformation down. It's important to know that this transformation is absolutely inevitable and you're going to get there no matter what. But I think that the stories you tell yourself and and honestly, some of the mean lies that your brain tells you are just that, mean lies that you don't deserve to be telling yourself. And in fact, you're so much cooler than you give yourself credit for, and you totally deserve to mother yourself. Like I think what Spirit wants you to do is to take a step back and to look at yourself from an objective point of view, as if you were like a friend or somebody that you really cared about, which you should really care about yourself. But I know a lot of people have a hard time caring about themselves. And if you could look at yourself objectively, what would you say that you needed? Would you say the way that you talk to yourself is okay? Would you say the way that you treat yourself is okay? I said this in Pile 1 as well, but we only accept the love that we think we deserve. Oh wait, that's not the right quote. Damn it, Spirit. Okay. The other one, which was, you deserve the love that you so freely give to others, which maybe you don't give love to others. I feel like a lot of you do. But you deserve, if you're going to give any love, you should be giving that love to yourself first. And then once your cup runneth over, then you can give it, when your cup runneth over, then you can give it to other people, essentially. But yeah, I feel like Spirit's saying like, hey, you're doing just fine. You're doing a great job. Your biggest enemy is your head right now. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is just be patient. Ask yourself what you need in the moment, and roll with that. You know, if you have a week of unproductivity, that's okay. You might just need that. Maybe your soul just is going through things. Maybe you're experiencing a lot of triggers or something like that. It's really different for everybody. But I feel like Spirit is saying that your biggest block and obstacle is your head right now. And that's what's stopping you from feeling more peace within this transformation and within this journey. So I'm going to get you some advice now and see first what the fairies want to tell you. This is the Oracle of the Fairies, and then we'll get into Moonology. So, Spirit, what advice do you have for Pile 2, especially when it comes to this transformation and getting out of their head, please? Okay, I guess that one. So let's start. Okay, we have manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now that it is down on paper, manifestation step 1. So yeah, maybe this is slowing down some manifestations, or maybe you need to be more clear about your manifestations to know what your next move is or what your next direction is. We also have believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around in nature. The fairy of the northern lights says that you are a part of nature, so you are magical too. Yeah, that's a wonderful point. And that might be something that's holding you back. Maybe you look at this tarot stuff and you're like, yeah, this is just bullshit. Like, I get it. I was the same way. I was like, no way a deck of cards is going to tell me what I need to know. But I tell you what, these cards smack me in the face like every single day. So yeah, trust me, a deck of cards can tell you. They can absolutely tell you what you need to know. We also have look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. And on the back of the deck, we have inspiration. Be prepared as soon as you receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call anytime. So maybe nature is a place where you need to find inspiration, but I definitely think that you need to believe in yourself and believe in this magic and believe that everything is falling in alignment for you. And one thing you need to believe is that if this message is resonating, that it is for you. Like, if you don't believe that, then this can't be effective at all, can it? But let's see what else, Spirit. What is shifting and what advice do you have for pile 2, please? Pile 2, please, Spirit. What's shifting? What advice do you have? Okay. So to start, we have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. We have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. I absolutely agree. Adjustments are required, third quarter moon. And on the back of the deck, nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. And I think this confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo is important as well. And so, yeah, so I love that Spirit said this because one, Spirit wants you to communicate with them what you want. Don't be afraid to ask for help from your angels, from your guides, or just from the universe if you're uncomfortable with using that terminology. But like, Spirit needs to know what you want as well. And in fact, when you don't believe that these things can actually happen, you're kind of setting that intention in the universe. But it's important to remember that like anxiety and negative beliefs, those things don't manifest, but they do slow down the manifestations that you're trying to acquire. So it's important to remember, you know, when you're thinking negatively or you're thinking out of fear, ask yourself, like, is this productive? Like, is this rational? Is this really helping me? And, you know, sometimes we do have rational fears that we have to deal with and we have to find solutions for, but a lot of times we have fears that are just not rational at all and just hold us back. And so with those adjustments are required. Spirit is saying, you know, in order for this transformation to happen more naturally, in order for this process to be more comfortable, it's time to assess where things aren't working and where you might be holding yourself back or telling yourself a story to keep yourself in the same place that's out of alignment. And with nothing is yet set in stone, I feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, it's that whether you can or you can't, you're right, or you're probably right. If you're having, like, you know, destiny is kind of, or fate, I guess, is like a mixture of predetermined things with free will. But free will is really important, and it's really important to take actions towards those things because, you know, your actions in the present are what creates your future tomorrow. So just important to remember that, and remember that, you know, even if you have like 5 bad days, you can have a great one the next day and have a great week. Like, every single day is a new day and you can always start fresh. So I'm going to get some letters and numbers now for y'all and see what is relevant for pile 2, Spirit. Okay. And then we'll get you some songs. So when it comes to these songs, I've got a bunch of different ones in here. It could be the artist, it could be the title, it could be something in the lyrics. Some songs could be for you, maybe not others. Just take what resonates. Don't let it take from you. So pile 2, Spirit. I feel like these two. Okay. So let's start with your letters. So we have 2 J's. So we have 2 J's. You could have double letters in your name. Or we have 2 H's. You know what this is making me think of? You know how some people type haha with like an H and some people type haha with J's? So I feel like there's a need for, you know, no matter who you are, where you come from, to be able to laugh at life, laugh at the lighter side of things. We also have a K and an A. Alaska could be significant for some of you. I see with that AK. I also heard time to bring out the big guns. Like maybe there's something that you need to do. It requires a lot of work or effort or something. But we also have a 2. We have 2 6s or 2 9s or a 69, however you want to see that. We also have a 5 and we have a 0. And then let's see your songs. Okay, so here's one for the K-pop stans. We've got Liar Liar by Oh My Girl. If you're not into K-pop, just ignore that one. We have Faded by Alan Walker. But I do think that there's something here about maybe lying to yourself and telling yourself that you can't do things when you actually can, you know, because you're afraid to see yourself fail. But failure is just one step closer to success. We also have Haven't Met You Yet by Michael Bublé, which that might kind of make sense. You haven't met the version of yourself that you're meant to be. So maybe you got to start communicating with yourself first to see that. We also have Without Me by Halsey. And we have Adore You by Harry Styles. So I feel like all of these are like shit that you need to center back at yourself, but that's just me. But pile 2, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I also want to say thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simple and easiest way to communicate or to send energy to me and to support me in my channel. So I just want to say, for those of you who have been watching them, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I just appreciate anybody who is willing to support me in that way. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you guys chose the green butterfly and the Santa Muerte tarot, this is going to be your reading on what you need to hear. So to start, we're going to shuffle your tarot. And then I'll lay out your oracles. We'll see what you need to hear. And then we will pull you some advice. And then finally, we will see letters and numbers that might be relevant, any synchronicities, and then songs as well, because some of you are wanting that to come back. But yeah, as you can tell, shuffling is kind of iffy. Yeah, that made it better, I think. We'll do one more for good measure. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful to be able to read for you. I am so happy you're here. So let's go ahead and just see what you need to hear at this time. So pile 3, Spirit, what do they need to hear at this moment in time? Pile 3. Okay, we have the 9 of Swords. What does pile 3 need to hear? She did a flip. 9 of Wands. Or yeah, that's a 9 of Wands. What does pile 3 need to hear? Okay, we have Justice. Some Libras out here. Definitely some air signs. Aries, Libra, Gemini. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, these guys, that's too many of you, but we will take this one. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. I guess that's not gonna... Okay. I feel like I want one more. Spirit, what's the last card pile 3 needs? Okay, I guess it's this one, and I guess there's 2. Okay, yeah, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. Okay, we're just putting these guys over here. for now. Okay, so let's look at your oracles. To start, we have healing through rest, fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. We have courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. We have the void. We have the royal you. And then finally, we have under a spell. Okay, so here's what's interesting. I'm definitely getting like multiple different messages. So for some of you, like there might be messages that are for you and then some that are not. So bear with me as I get through all of these. But the one thing that I think is going to be like, yes, this is definitely your pile. If you've been experiencing a lot of just like mental mania is kind of like what I would describe it as, but I'm not in like a diagnosis type of way. It's just like, it seems like your mind has not stopped going in quite some time. And there's a lot of fear and anxiety and almost like sleepless nights is one thing that I'm hearing, because you're definitely exhausted. And I felt it as soon as I started shuffling for this pile. Pile 2 had a lot of mental energy, but yours is different in the sense that theirs was more so about like a personal transformation, but I think yours relates to many aspects of life. Like I think you're just overwhelmed and afraid. Like there might be a lot of opportunities heading your way, but you're afraid to take them, or you feel like you're not ready yet, or you have options, but you're not sure what option to take. First point of advice from Spirit is that there are no right or wrong choices. They're just choices that create our life. With this Justice card here, I am getting the energy of like you'll reap what you sow. But I do think there's this desire to break out of the boundaries and the barriers that you've created for yourself. One message that I want to talk about now, because I just like want to get it out of the way. For some of you, there might be a potential love interest coming in, or that has come in that you're interested in. And with this under a spell card, Spirit is saying, you know, if you're wondering whether this is too good to be true, like take the rose-colored glasses off. Like you might not be taking them off because you're afraid, but if it's still just as awesome with the rose-colored glasses taken off and you don't feel like you've been dropped to the cold floor in some way, then you're not under a spell. But if you're if you're afraid of things not turning out the way you want them to or something like that, you might be looking at things with rose-colored glasses. But it's kind of interesting because with this fall into my arms and surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life, there is this energy of extremes, because there's this great light in your spread, but then there's also this darkness, and there's this opportunity for abundance and these exciting new things coming your way, but at the same time you're very afraid to embrace them and very afraid and just like exhausted. Like I want to take a nap right now. And I feel like there's a lot on your plate and you've been struggling for a while, and it's hard for you to even be open to anything new coming your way, because I think you're afraid that like anything good coming your way is just going to end up disappointing you or going to end up in failure. But I think one of the reasons why you're thinking this way is because you're not giving yourself time to rest. Like I don't know what you need, but you definitely need to be getting more sleep. And if it's past your bedtime, I'm going to tell you, watch this reading and then go to bed. Or you can do what you want, but if it's past your bedtime and you haven't been sleeping, it's time to get some sleep. But one thing that I'm seeing here is that you definitely underestimate yourself and your abilities. And I think that Spirit is saying that you've already experienced some of the highs and the lows of life. And while you know that there's more to come, I think there's this hesitancy to like move forward, or this fear of moving forward, embracing new opportunities, because you know what it's like to be disappointed. And so with this surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life, Spirit is asking you to surrender to the idea that you are going to have tough times. You are going to have times where you're going to be burdened and overworked, or have too much on your plate, or just feel like the man is bringing you down in some way. But Spirit is also saying that when you have those dark times, you have to remember that the pendulum is always going to swing the other way, and you're going to have those light times, those amazing times, those fun times. And I think one thing that you are needing to assess is what can you actually control and what is out of your control that you're fretting over. Because with the royal you here, there's a need to look at yourself objectively and realize just how stinking awesome you are. And not only that, you are the ruler of your life, and you have the ability to call the shots, what you will and won't accept, what you will and won't go after, who you do and don't want to interact with. Spirit is asking you to focus on what you can control and not what you can't, and to face the things that you can't control with confidence that no matter what happens, you'll be just fine. I feel like if there's any important decisions that you need to make in the near future, to make them after you've given yourself time to rest, because there is, like, I can just feel the exhaustion in this pile. And like, please be careful with your caffeine consumption. I'm such a hypocrite saying that, but like, Spirit is really saying to me, like I said, it comes through me, not from me. If it came from me, I'd probably be in a much more solid position in life. But like, Spirit is saying to really, like, caffeine consumption might be linked to heightened anxiety for you, or heightened anxious tendencies. I also think there's a need to start journaling your feelings and what's going on, because that'll help you get them out, and so that they won't stay in your head. And once they're out, like on paper or something, then you can actually start to look and be like, okay, so is this fear that's been running through my head for 3 days, is it actually rational, or am I just like torturing myself out of fear? It'll help you to see things, whether they're realistic fears or not. I think that there's a lot of abundance trying to come your way with this Ace of Pentacles, but aces are all about opportunities. And so Spirit wants you to remember that if you don't take these opportunities, if you stay in your head, if you stay stuck out of fear, you're not going to be able to move forward, and you're going to be stuck in this energy of feeling lack, of feeling this void. With the void here, this is like the opposite of light. This is the absence of light. And so I think Spirit is saying, you know, you understand like what the void is like. You understand what the absence of light is like. But I don't think you know much about what embodying that true, beautiful light is like. You know what the opposite of darkness is. You know that it's light. But how often do you actually actively try to live in the light? And how much control do you have over yourself to live in that light, where you might relinquish it to other people or to outside circumstances, because it's easier to blame your mood or your feelings on your outside circumstances than it is to own up to your shit and say, oh, okay, well, you know, I've been feeling like crap. It's probably because I haven't been sleeping. I haven't been, you know, maybe eating the best, or I haven't been taking care of myself the way I need to. And then on top of it, I'm fueling myself with things that aren't. I'm not judging what you do by any means, but what Spirit is saying is to take a look at your actions and how they impact your mood and how you're actually feeling, because you might be blaming certain things, certain external factors on why you feel the way you do, when Spirit is saying that if you actually turned things inward, you'd realize that you have more control over your mood and the ability to embody the light than you realize. Now, I'm not talking about, like, obviously if you suffer from something like a mental disorder like depression or something like that is far more complicated, and it's not something where you can just go inwards and be like, oh yeah, there's the light. But as a human who deals with depression, like, from guy to guy, I didn't really start to get out of it until I decided that I was fucking tired of feeling horrible all the time. And so for you, that might be coming to the decision that you're tired of feeling like this all the time, and taking steps to try and make it better, even if it doesn't make it fully better. You know what I mean? At least you can say at the end of the day, you're doing what you can to try and control the factors that you can in order to feel the best that you can. That doesn't mean that you'll feel 100. It doesn't mean that you'll feel amazing. But it's good to always to want to strive towards the light, to strive towards the things that we can control. You know, for example, if you live in the US, well, I guess if you live anywhere where there are cars, you will know that there's a lot of dummies in giant moving machines. And traffic is an excellent example of where you cannot control what's going on around you, but you can control how you act. Do you want to sit behind the wheel and like talk mad shit and just be like, you know, everybody sucks, you know, this sucks, everybody drives like bitches? But you know, you got to remember, you're part of the traffic. You're in it just like everyone else is in it. And so you might sit there working yourself up when you realize you can't change it. You're stuck in traffic. You know, is it worth your sanity? Is it worth your peace? Sometimes it is, because sometimes I just have to like blow off some steam. So that might be the same way for you. But ask yourself, do you intentionally make yourself upset because you're upset about the circumstances around you? I think there's a lot about finding inner peace no matter what your circumstances are. And with that inner peace, it's not the acknowledgement that everything is perfect and life is happy. It's that you can be peaceful despite all the things that are testing you to not live in that energy of peace. You almost have to like kind of look at it as a competition. Like everything around you is wanting you to like feel like shit and garbage, and feel like this Nine of Swords, feel like this Five of Pentacles. But you have the power to say, F all that. I'm going to try and find peace the best I can in the situation I'm in. So maybe that's putting on your favorite playlist when you're stuck in traffic, or when you're having a really rough day, you know, saying screw it to all the things that you had to do, and just taking time to nurture yourself, to sleep in, to maybe watch a movie you love, or spend some time with friends or with animals that make you really happy. I just think I feel like whenever you are in this happy energy, you're like fearful of when it's going to go away and how it's going to be ruined. And I think what you're not realizing is that is partially kind of why you get stuck back in these lows. You know, it takes courage to be able to look at yourself and say, oh, you know, these things are what's holding me back. These things are making me not happy. Like I can control XYZ about myself and I'm not, and that could help me improve my mood. There's kind of almost a need to be objective and like very logical about your needs and what is working and what isn't. And also just trust that the pendulum is going to swing. You're going to experience highs and you're going to experience lows. But the best thing that you can do is recognize when you're in the highs or you're in the lows. You know, when you're in the highs, appreciate them for being highs and say, oh, I'm experiencing a really great time in my life right now. This is awesome. I'm going to cherish every single moment of this. I'm going to make sure I journal it. I'm going to embrace the moments and embrace the people and embrace the experiences and express gratitude. And then in the lows, recognize, you know, I'm in a low and I can reach a high at any point. Who knows when it'll come? But I know now that even though I'm in a low, it doesn't mean I'll be here forever. I know that I can do XYZ to take care of myself and feel a bit better while I'm in this low. And I'm just going to express gratitude that spirit is still around and still here for me, even though I'm going through all this. You know, I think there is a lot about perspective here. And if your perspective is everything is horrible and I'm sad and nothing is getting better, you know, if that's the energy you want to live in, fine. But if you don't want to live in that energy, if that doesn't make you happy, you know, what steps do you need to take to change that? What steps do you need to do? Like, you know, sometimes we have to take a long, hard look at ourselves and admit that we know the problems that we need to fix, but there's a difference between knowing and being. And if you want to be those changes and live a life where you're happier, you have to stop deluding yourself that you're terrible and that life is terrible and things won't get better. I do think for some of you, it's just the fact that you're not getting enough rest. And that's why everything is terrible and overwhelming all the time, because you don't have the energy to regulate yourself. Like, you're just flying off of like pure adrenaline and like caffeine. But for others of you, I think that there's a much deeper component to it where there's like a habit of blaming all of your problems on the outside world, which a lot of our problems do originate from the outside world. And there's things that we can't, and there are things we can aspire to change, but on a realistic daily, day-to-day level, what is it that we can change to make us the happiest or the most at peace with ourselves? Because even happy is like a fleeting moment. I guess it's more so about like being at peace. You deserve that peacefulness. And I think that it's your mental energy that really stops you from experiencing that peace. You know, is there something wrong? Should I be afraid? Should I be worried? You know, it's a lot. And I can definitely tell how exhausted you are. But I think what Spirit is saying is that, you know, you got to have balance in this perspective, you know? It's definitely not good to have like toxic positivity either, and to be like, oh yeah, everything is sunshines and rainbows, as like there's like a forest fire behind you or something. Like, obviously things aren't sunshines and rainbows. They're like fires and shit. But that's where you scale back and you say, okay, now what can I do about this situation, and what is out of my control? You know, because I think a lot of like your fears and the things that run through your head are things that you won't even be able to control to begin with. And I think there needs to maybe be more faith in the universe that everything surrounding you isn't a void. It's actually love. And there's so much love surrounding you that if you were open to, you could see. And, you know, it's harder to see that stuff, but like being around your friends, being around your family, being around the people that make you feel loved, well, your significant other, your animals, they will show you that love and remind you that that love is everywhere, even when you see the worst sides of humanity every single day. Also, another thing, you don't have to always check into the news. If the news gives you anxiety, turn it off, bro. Like, turn it off. Like, you don't have to be this super informed, responsible citizen of society all the time. If it's affecting your well-being to the point where you can't sleep or you can't function, listening to the news is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. I have issues with the news. Like, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you need to give yourself a break. Give yourself time to rest. Give yourself time to breathe. A lot of things are going to balance out on their own. You have no idea. And actually, you know, you're doing a lot better than you think you are. It's just you've gotten to a point where you're exhausted, and and the most healing thing you can do right now is just give yourself a freaking break and take time to rest. Just take time to sleep. Like, my eyes are even getting heavy now. Like, it's a lot. But we're going to get you some advice now, because I feel like I've kind of driven my point home. I hope that wasn't too blunt or too harsh. I'm really sorry if it was. Like I said, it comes through me, not from me. I'm not judging anybody. I don't want anybody to think that I'm judging them or anything like that. Like, I deal with all of these problems too, you know. He who is without sin shall cast the first stone, right? But let's get some advice for pile 3. Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3 at this time? Advice do you have for pile 3? Okay. To start, we have fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. So this doesn't have to be about fairies. But like this is exactly, believing is seeing. So believing that you can have a good day. Believing that you can find the opportunities that you want. Believing that you're the shit, because you already should believe that. Like, believing is seeing. And so once you start to believe the nice things that you say to yourself, once you start to believe that the universe isn't this cold, cruel, evil world that we love to portray it as, and while there are, yes, those aspects, and that's very real, there's wonderful things about the universe too. And like, there's a lot of great people in this world, and there's a lot of love in a lot of places if you're willing to look for it. We also have magical gateway. It takes courage again, to trust and venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. I agree, fairy deck. I agree. We also have find balance. Find the balance between work, rest, and playtime, and you'll have more energy, harmony, and productivity in life. Take a power nap. Yeah, please take a nap for sure. And on the back of the deck, we have stargazing. I'm also hearing like the Travis Scott song, Stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. That kind of falls into that Two of Swords. You know, the Two of Swords is all about like, you know, in the traditional Two of Swords, there's somebody like blindfolded holding like two swords like this. And really the point of the Two of Swords is that you don't think you know, but you do. And like the more you try to find answers in your logical brain, the less things will make sense because you'll just get stuck in these thought holes. It's better to actually just like trust your intuition and what your gut is saying. But Spirit, what other advice do you have for pile 3? What might be shifting for them in the near future? Okay, we'll start. We have hold your vision, fixed moon. We have believe in the impossible, blue moon. Good. You guys do. Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. Exactly. Nothing will come from fretting and fearing and holding yourself back. Nothing will come from telling yourself that you suck and that you can't achieve things. I don't like that energy. We also have the energy is gaining momentum. So yeah, the more you focus on this resting, on this healing, on finding balance, the more you are going to feel empowered. And on the back of the deck, we have faith in your dreams and it's time to take action. Absolutely. Yeah. It's time to enact that Aries energy and have faith that you can have your dreams. You know, if there are dreams that you want to go after, don't give up on them. Have the courage to follow them. You know, take time to rest so you know what direction you're going in and fucking kick ass. Let's go. Like, I want to see you guys achieve some stuff. I want to see you actualize your true potential. I want you to see yourselves as amazing as I see you and know you to be. I can just see within these cards how wonderful you are. And the only thing stopping you from seeing that is the belief that you are or you're not. You know, whether you can or you can't, you're probably right. But let's get you some letters and numbers now and see what will come out here. So pile 3, Spirit. Okay, well, what just fell in my lap? Okay, we had an A fall down. And then let's get you some songs. And then, as I always say with the songs, can be like letters. Not letters. This can be like the title, the artist, the lyrics. It could be like literally whatever. So, you know, take those as they resonate. Don't let them take from you. Okay, we'll go with these. So, let's see. In terms of letters, we have an N. We have an A. Maybe some of you need to just like go outside and like get a tan or something. Not like you have to get a tan, but like just soak up the sun. I'm also seeing the name Natalie. I'm also seeing Cataly. Lots of numbers. We have 7. We have 4, 5. So there's definitely changes in your horizon. It's kind of like things will change outwardly as you start to change inwardly. I don't know if that's not grammatically correct, but that's okay. We also have a 3, a 4, a 7, a 0, a 0. We have 999, 666, 696, 969. And we also have the number 8. Oh, specific message I'm getting. If you're taking the MCAT soon, first of all, good luck. Second of all, you'll do fine. Believe in yourself. And make sure you get enough sleep that night. I'm also seeing Connecticut and acting. Maybe some of you want to start acting. If that's something you want to try, like join like an acting troupe or like an improv course. Like go have fun. Go live your life. But in terms of songs, we have Gold by Kiara. We have 2. So we have Starships by Nicki Minaj and The Way by Ariana Grande featuring Mac Miller. We also have Invitation by Rapta. We have One in a Million by Hilary Duff. And finally, we have Don't Call Me Up by Mabel. So I am going to leave this reading here, pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. I also quickly wanted to say thank you guys so much to everyone who has been watching my ads. That is the simple and easiest way to support me and my channel. So I did just want to say thank you to everybody who's been doing that. I have definitely noticed that you all have been. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. And if you haven't already and would like to, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload a new reading or a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose this purple butterfly and the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So what we're going to do is shuffle the tarot on camera, and then I will lay out your oracles, which I've already pre-shuffled. And then on top of that, we will look at advice for you all and finish off with some letters, numbers, and songs. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful to have you over here on my wee little channel. But we are going to go ahead and see for y'all what Spirit wants you to know and what you need to hear. So pile 4, Spirit. Okay. We're just coming out straight out the gate, huh? Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups and the Devil in reverse. We could have some Capricorns here. Hello. And Spirit, what does pile 4, what do they need to hear? Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. So we have the King of Pentacles, the Hermit in reverse, Judgment upright, so I'm gonna grab, all right, yeah, okay. So the 4 of Pentacles in reverse and Strength upright. We could also have some Leos here. We definitely have all the earth signs, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and finally Spirit. Okay, I feel like this guy wants to come out. Okay, so the 3 of Swords in reverse and the 3 of Cups upright. Okay. Spirit, can you give me like just one more when it comes to this 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups energy, 6 of Cups in reverse. Okay. Let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have Left Out with the Wolves. You guys actually got 2 of these oracle cards. So we have Trust. We have the 7 Star Sisters, the 7 Star Stickers. We have Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. We have Close Encounters. We have Power and Scry Mirror. Okay, so what do you need to hear, pile 1? Pile 1. Maybe you want to watch pile 1. This is supposed to be pile 4. Oopsies. Okay. What do you need to hear, pile 4? Well, I think one thing that you need to hear is that not everyone is as awesome as you are. And I know that's like, I'm not trying to come straight out the gate, like gassing you up. Well, I mean, obviously I always want to gas you up, but my point in saying this is that, I definitely think that you've been thrown around a bunch by people. Like with this Left Out in the Wolves and this 3 of Swords in reverse with the 3 of Cups upright, I feel like you're starting to realize that certain people, either like in your circle or just like people that you've encountered in your past or just like throughout your life, feel like probably haven't had the best intentions for you and haven't really been there to want to see you succeed. It's kind of like the energy is very like taking, like draining, like what can you do for me type energy. And I think there's been a lot of times when you've been left to fend for yourself because, you know, people might have thrown you under the bus or you might have not been like just treated the way you deserve to be treated. And I think that Spirit is saying that you've encountered a lot of these types of people to learn from it, as we all do, but also that everything that you've been thrown into, you've been able to navigate. And actually, it seems like for a lot of you, you've reached this point where you're starting to recognize what habits aren't serving you, and you're kind of turning this new page over, you're turning this new leaf over. And I actually think that with this Ace of Cups here, I think there's a lot about creativity and channeling all of your negative experiences into your creative endeavors. With this King of Pentacles here, I think that you either are somebody already pretty abundant, or you have the ability to achieve this abundance. There might actually be like a male figure in your life who is pretty secure that could help you with this as well. But what I'm seeing here is that Spirit wants you to trust that you're exactly where you need to be in this exact moment, and that there is nothing wrong with you. This energy over here really seems to be talking about people from your past, maybe specifically romantic partners or romantic connections where you thought everything was right, but it just turned out to be, to like, you know, get you hurt, or there could have been dishonesty or a lack of loyalty there. And I feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, those are not a reflection of your worth at all. And you've been able to overcome so much. You're so much more powerful than you believe yourself to be. And I feel like you might think that you need more time like alone or introspecting, but I feel like Spirit is saying that you've been introspecting for far too long at this point, that actually you're ready for an emotional new start. And I think that this emotional new start could be with a person, maybe a King of Pentacles type person, or it could just be that this emotional new start is meant to create something new in your life, like creative expression. If it's not love, it's creative expression that you genuinely enjoy of some kind. And I feel like with this trust and this power, Spirit is really saying that you have the power to create the life that you want, and that you've already been in this process. And one thing that's really difficult that you're going to have to start accepting is that you have to trust that the universe has your back. You know, just like you might have felt like the universe hasn't had your back in the past, but you have to understand that the universe doesn't work in incredibly straightforward ways like we think it does. You know, I'm like even hesitant, like when I manifest, not to manifest a specific thing or a specific person, because I recognize that like what I truly want is probably love or happiness. And so, you know, if I'm manifesting that specific thing, sorry if you can hear my water tank, when I'm like, if I'm trying to manifest that specific thing, the universe might know that that person or that thing won't make me happy, or it won't bring me love. So they're not going to bring that. And so then I'll be confused, like, why don't you have my back here? Why don't you? And the universe is like, hey, homie, like, we want to give you what you want, but that's not going to give you that. So, but like the universe won't tell you that. So you have to be kind of strategic. You know, the universe is kind of tricky and kind of confusing. But, there's a lot here just about expressing yourself and being unafraid to live in your truth. With this growth, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. I think there's things that you see in others that you actually have within you, and that you have the power to harness and create. You know, with power and trust, you're so much more powerful than you realize. And I actually genuinely believe that a lot of the experiences that you've gone through, especially with like seedy or shady people, or people that didn't have your best interests at heart, are actually experiences that you were meant to go through to not only learn things, but to also like have stories and to contribute to your creative process in some way. With this Close Encounters card, I feel like you've just been beaten up so much by other people and experiences in life that I think you're really afraid of being open again. It's like with this Four of Pentacles, you've shut yourself down so much because you're so used to like a lion coming and taking a bite out of you, or you're just so used to people like attacking you or feeling attacked. And I feel like Spirit is saying that you don't deserve to cage yourself in because other people can't understand the expressions of your soul. If anything, there's much better people out there, and the more you express what your soul truly wants and what it is truly an expression of your soul, that's what's going to bring the right people, the right experiences, the right moments into your life. And Spirit is saying that you have the power to create all of this. And the only thing that slows you down is the doubt that you can't. I think you've recently come to an awareness that this is kind of true, and it's probably just the case that you needed to hear somebody else say it. But on top of that, I feel like Spirit really wants you to see your worth and be proud of how far you've come and how much you've already been able to accomplish and how many habits that you've let go of. I feel like with this Four of Pentacles and the Devil in reverse, you've started to let go of these old habits and these old barriers and these old beliefs that have made you feel like you're not enough or that you can't be enough. And I feel like there have been people in your life that have pretended to be like soulmates or use the soulmate card or something like that in order to get what they wanted from you. And Spirit is saying that, like, unfortunately, I'm not saying for like you'll know these people, like you probably don't talk to this person anymore. Like you'll know if somebody is meant for you or not. And like for some of you, you might have been allowing someone to stay in your life for far too long because the short-term joy was enough for you to keep holding on. And I think that like what you had to realize, like it could have been like a really major heartbreak for you. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, this heartbreak wasn't a reflection of your worth or a reflection of you being deserving or not deserving of love. It's just a reflection that people can pose as things, and you need to truly look in the mirror and recognize yourself in order to see if somebody is truly meant for you or not. And that might take time, but you're so strong. And what's interesting is that strength has come out in a lot of piles. So we could just have a lot of Leos here. Hey, what's up? But also, we have Virgo energy with the Hermit as well. I think I already said that, but just in case. Spirit says, like, you already know what to do. Like, you just need the green light. Like, or you're waiting for a green light that's not going to come. You need to give yourself that green light and say, I'm hearing, like, Green Light by Lord in my head now. But yeah, Spirit is saying that you have everything you need and to not fear what's to come next. Like, you've already overcome a lot. And honestly, you're in a much better position to face anything that is foolish enough to face you, because not only are you strong enough to overcome any challenges that come your way, but also you know a lot more about people than you once did, and you can actually trust yourself to make judgments about people. But I think one thing for you is, you know, to trust your gut feelings about people. If you feel off about somebody, don't feel like you have to give them like 70 chances to prove you wrong. Like, you don't have, like, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to prove things to people. And if you just feel like you don't want to open yourself up to someone, don't. Like, you don't have to. And you're strong enough to say no to that sort of thing. But I feel like Spirit just wants to say how proud they are of you, of all the habits that you've been working to change, and all of the steps that you've been taking to become a better you. It's literally like the only thing is just being fearless enough and taking power in your own hands to free yourself from the cage that you've put yourself in, you know? There are still going to be people out there that don't have the best intentions. There are still going to be people that aren't right for you, but there are also going to be people out there that do have the best intentions. There are going to be people out there that are right for you. There are going to be things out there that are right for you. You're going to experience rejection, but you're also going to experience validation, admiration, lots of other things. And I feel like Spirit is saying to trust not in what you see at face value, but just trust that whatever comes your way, you have the power not only to handle it, but to keep yourself protected. You've grown so much more than you realize. And like, it's time for you to take what you've learned in life and the things that you have been understanding and exploring and actualize them into real creations that you can be proud of. You know, the things that you see in others, you have those abilities too. The things that you admire in others, that you can tap in for yourself. And I think Spirit just wants you to focus on having fun. And especially if you have any good friends that make you feel really good, I would really focus on like having fun with them and experiencing joy with them. And trust, there are already sources in your life where you can experience unconditional love, whether it's through animals, family, for some of you relationships, for others it's friendships, whatever it may be. Surround yourself in that love and try to think positively in terms of like Okay, yes, I've had negative experiences. There are negative people, but there are people that I do know that are great and that make me feel good. And I think those are the people that you're going to want to focus and be around. I don't think this is a time to isolate yourself, pile 4. I think that you maybe have been isolating yourself too much and maybe putting up too many walls to the point where people can't even really get to know you. And and as a result, they, you know, if people experience resistance when they're trying to get to know you, they're gonna stop. And maybe for some of you, you might wonder why somebody that you were interested in stopped trying to get to know you or something like that. And it might be because your walls were up so high they felt like they couldn't even get to know you, or they might have thought that you weren't into them, which maybe that was the case, but that was a random message I was hearing. But Spirit is saying keep going and keep growing, because that's kind of all you're doing right now, and that's all you need to do. That's like all your job is to keep acknowledging what you're worth, and start being instead of just knowing, and just keep going and keep moving forward and trust that this is your path, because you have the power to create whatever you want in your life. I think that there is just a lack of faith in the universe that they're actually protecting you and that they actually have your back. The universe works in really weird ways. The universe is like literally never straightforward. It's the most irritating thing in the world. I understand. But the more in tune you are with yourself and where you're headed, the easier it'll be for you to know that like you're on the right path. Happiness is a sign that you are on the right path. And I think that's probably the most important sign. But overall, Spirit just wants you to know how proud they are of you and how much you've overcome, and that you don't deserve to sit in feelings of heartbreak or despair, that you deserve to feel feelings of joy and experience joyful moments with those who appreciate you for who you truly are, not the people that want something from you or are judgmental of you. You deserve people around you that see you for your worth and accept you as you are, and not don't try to change you into something else. But I think that one thing that Spirit is telling me is that there's a lot more people out there in the world that than you realize that would really just love you for who you are, and don't want to see and don't want anything from you. They just want you to be you. I think there's just a lot more people out there than you realize that would be more receptive to you and your energy and your whole being. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at the people in your life who you already know are keepers, and look for those qualities in other people, or look for signs for other people that like other people might have this as well. You're a light, and moths are attracted to flames, to light. And so you attract all different types of people, good and bad, and it can be hard to discern what type of person somebody is, which, I mean, I guess, like, really thinking about it, it's hard to deduce somebody into just good or bad. Like, that's not really a thing. But the people that are right for you, the people that are in alignment with you, and the people that are there for your best growth and for in your best interest, you'll know who those people are, and you can trust your gut to show you that. But I think one thing that Spirit is saying is that you're going to let opportunities pass you by if you don't open up that cage that you've built around yourself and go for things. You deserve to reap all this abundance and have these creative endeavors and trust yourself more. But if you stay in this little cage, if you stay stuck, chained to the past, or chained to what makes you feel hurt or what makes you feel out of alignment, it's going to be a lot harder for you to move forward, my dude. So I think Spirit is just saying, you have the power to create this life that you want. You just have to trust that Spirit is giving it to you, and trust that you can handle and navigate any challenges that come your way. But I'm going to get you guys some advice now and see first what the fairies want you to know, and then what else Spirit wants you to know, and what might be shifting in your life. Okay, let's see. So to start, we have ask for help. Angels are celestial beings who protect everyone, and the fairies say now is the time for you to ask for angelic assistance. In the Judgment card, there's a specific archangel in the Judgment card. I believe it's Gabriel. I could be wrong though. But so you could ask for Archangel Gabriel. You could ask, this could even be friends, like these good homies I was talking about. Don't be afraid to ask for help from other people. If you feel like, if you want to get out of your comfort zone and do something new, but you're afraid to do it by yourself, like ask for a friend to come with you. You don't have to do everything alone. We also have Magical Gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. Yeah, you don't need more introspection. If anything, you need to experience life more. We also have fairy spotting, and I see why this came out again. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. And so Spirit says you need to believe in your growth. It doesn't even really have to do with fairies. I mean, it can, but it's more so like about like believing that you're the shit and like going out there and being your best self and conquering life every single day with the trust that, like, you know, if things don't go your way, better shit will replace it, and believing that like that people are good, and believing that there are people out there that will value you for who you truly are. And it's literally like believing in yourself will help you see how powerful you are. And on the back of the deck, we have lost and found, and underneath that, transformation. So we're taking mistransformation as well. But what was lost is about to be found, thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things that we never even realized were lost. And I think for you, it's realizing that a part of yourself is lost or has been lost because you've been dimming your shine and caging yourself in because you've been afraid of people that didn't understand you. And Spirit is saying it's time to end that shit. It's time for you to be your best self and be who you know you can be. And so also on the back of the deck is transformation. This fairy tells you to surrender to a transformation that's happening in your life for the highest good. Embrace your transformation. The best is yet to come. And I agree. And look at that. Look at all the butterflies around her. And you guys have that. So yeah, maybe pile one, maybe that pink butterfly, maybe that is for you as well. You might want to check out that pile, but we are going to see what else is shifting for you. So pile 4, Spirit, what else? What advice do you have for them, and what is shifting into their life? Okay. So to start, we have bring love into the situation. Yeah, love yourself, love others, do everything out of love. We also have it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. We also have don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. And work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. We got a lot of Scorpio, Leo energy. And on the back of the deck, a time to give rather than to take, new moon in Virgo. So yeah, it's time to give to yourself and give to give what you need. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, don't be too prideful to embrace these changes. You know, don't be afraid to be who you truly are. You know, pride, we don't need, I mean, pride's good in some ways, but like also, you know, isn't that a seven deadly sins? What are 7 deadly sins? Gluttony, yeah, like, yeah, I feel like gluttony, envy, I don't know. You know what's sad? The only reason like I know these is because of that America's Next Top Model episode where they all have to dress up as a as a deadly sin. I'm trying to think. I think pride is one. If it's not pride, it's whatever one. The girl is in the coffin and she's got like the tiara and all this shit. She's like a winner. I don't know. Some of y'all are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But point is that, you know, it's good to be proud of yourself, but don't allow pride to stop you from expressing your true self. And yeah, there's a lot about fears and negativity to work through. And I feel like if you bring love into the situation in terms of loving yourself and loving what you need, then yeah, a new start will come. A new start will be on its way. And, you know, do things out of love, not out of fear, not out of lack, not because you feel like you should, but because you want to and because you have that love for yourself. But let's get some letters and numbers for y'all now. Pile 4, Spirit. Okay, and then we'll get you some songs as well. So these songs can be the title, it could be the lyrics, it could be the artist, it could be not for you. It is really be a couple of things, so. Okay. So to start, let's look at the letters and numbers. We have, so I'm already seeing like teddy, like if you have like a teddy bear or something that you I'm wearing Teddy Fresh, so maybe you need to go shopping. Make yourself feel as fly as you are. I'm also hearing like gratitude is something that you might want to practice more. DC could be significant, or like Texas could be significant. New York as well. And North Dakota is one thing that I'm hearing. We also have DGZ. Dragon Ball Z could be significant for some of you. Let's see, we have some Canadians here, because I'm hearing like from A, like, you know, Canada A to Z, or to Z, I guess. Let's see, we also have, oh, this is an O. So dogs, maybe a dog could help you, or maybe you're thinking about getting a dog or something like that, you know, or maybe your dog's just saying hi, or if you need to see love, go to your dog or someone else's dog, or God, you know. God's always here. We do everything through God's love. We also have a 5, we have a 0, and then we have a 6 or a 9, however you want to view that. And then for your songs to start, oh, hell yeah. We have I by Cody Simpson featuring Flo Rida. So the number 143, in the song, there's this part where Cody Simpson's like, oh, if you're thinking about me, text 143. That means I love you. And girl, I'll be your everything you need. So baby, let your heart take the lead. The Spirit's saying, let your heart take the lead. If you see 143, that's Spirit's way of saying that they love you, and that Spirit loves you, and that they're supporting you in your dreams. We also have The Beat of My Heart by Hilary Duff. Yeah, there's a lot about needing to get in touch with your heart. We also have Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. So maybe some of you tigers are significant. We also have Love Again by Cedric Gervais. We also have, what's in here? Okay, yeah, we have Tunnel Vision by Kodak Black. And finally, what's in here? We have Till the World Ends by Britney Spears. Love that mix. But pile 4, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. And I'd also just like to say really quickly, thank you so much to everybody who has been watching my ads. That is the simplest way to support me and my channel. It's a very simple energy exchange, and I just greatly appreciate it. I can tell that people have been watching them, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. If you haven't already and would like to, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!